Welcome to the Vegas Insider channel here on YouTube. As the NASCAR playoffs continue this Sunday from Kansas City, Kansas, it is at Kansas Speedway, the Hollywood Casino 400. Kevin Rogers with you, joined by Micah Roberts. He breaks down the NASCAR world for Vegas Insider. And Micah, before we look ahead to this week's race, what were your thoughts on last week? Eric Jones came in as a nice dog as he ended up winning the Cookout Southern 500 at Darlington.
Yeah, it was a great dog. 70 to 1, 80 to 1. I saw his high prices. Pretty good stuff with Eric Jones there. He's been fighting all year, taking like a 20th place car that they set up for him and turn it into a 9th or 10th place car. I love what he's been doing all year, and it's one of his favorite tracks. So his first 6 starts there with Joe Gibbs, he had top 10s and fighting for wins in a couple of them. And it's just one of those things that you just know the track. It's a tire wear situation, and he was there all race long. Had a little piece of him myself. I would have rather had Kevin Harvick, though, and Kevin Harvick was kind of running the same thing. He had 16 to 1 to win that race, and I thought he had a real good shot. I like him this week as well. But Harvick, I mean, what do? Your car catches on fire. You get out of the car and the car's still on fire. That's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. So NASCAR's done something to curtail that. We've seen like 3 or 4 cars this year catch on fire like that, and it's a scary, troubling situation. And so now they've made a new rule: you can have a spray solvent inside the fenders or something. I don't know. It's a security measure, and it's a good thing. But overall, fantastic. I think the best thing is 2 straight races, a 31 to win winner with Austin Dillon, the last race at Daytona, and then you get a 70 to 1 winner with Eric Jones. Can we make it 3 straight where we have big paying underdogs win? I got a couple that I'll throw at you when we start talking about Kansas, but yeah, I like big payouts. That's fun. That makes it worth the time spending to research all the drivers instead of just saying Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin. You know, when you can pick somebody out that has a inkling and effect of running well at a track and you're getting high odds, I'm all for that. That is one of my favorite parts of betting NASCAR.
Well, before we get to some of the underdogs, Mike, let's look at some of the names you just mentioned, and one of them is Denny Hamlin. You were pretty high on him last week at Darlington. 6 to 1 odds. He has fared well at Kansas, 3 wins at this track. What about Denny Hamlin's chances here to get over the hump and get another win?
I like him. He's my top pick to win this week. I'm not excited about the odds. I'd like a little higher, but I mean, let's face it, everywhere he's been on the bigger tracks, he's done extremely well, top 5s. And I'm talking even throwing in Michigan there, but we throw Michigan in there. He won the Charlotte race, was runner-up at the All-Star race. I mean, this is the short track program. Everything else has been not going so well. He hasn't been a real contender in any of those races, but you put him on a 1.5 mile track or 2 mile track, he's going to have a top 5, and he's probably going to win. So you mentioned there, he's got 3 wins, 10 top 5s, and I think 11 top 10s. This guy's going to probably win this race, and he's got 4 chances. So we got 4.5 mile tracks there. We got after Kansas, we run Texas, then we have Las Vegas, and we have Homestead. So he can hopscotch his way all the way to the final at Phoenix by winning one of the, and I think he'll win at least 2 times during the playoffs to move up his chances to get to the final and win his first NASCAR championship. And he's 6 to 1, by the way. He's the second choice behind Chase Elliott and BetMGM's updated odds, who's 7 to 2 now. He had a bad week last week, but Hamlin already the second choice above the likes of last year's winner, Kyle Larson. And I think part of it is because of his amazing success that we've seen on the 1.5 mile tracks. And that goes for all Toyotas, by the way. I think they're all going to be fast. Kyle Busch is kind of in the same boat as Hamlin there. He's a nice choice to be in Phoenix as well for the Final Four.
Well, let's talk about both the Kyles, Michael. First with Kyle Busch. And one thing, Micah, that you mentioned in your article was really interesting, that Kyle Busch had a lot of struggles at Kansas to start in his career, and it's been a lot better of late. We know Kyle, he races all weekend. He does everything. But what about his chances here, since he has had improvement at Kansas Speedway since a slow start?
Yeah, I think he's got a top 5 for certain. And it's the same kind of deal with Kyle Busch and the Toyotas, Joe Gibbs Racing. And it extends over to Hamlin and Jordan's team as well. Kurt Busch won this race. He's part of the Jordan Hamlin team in the number 45 for Toyota. And I think they just have an edge on this type of track where they don't have on the other tracks. They have it on this track. Kyle Busch started his career at Kansas, no top fives his first 14 races, but in his last 15 races, 10 top fives with the win. That's pretty amazing stuff. Consistency. It's almost unheard of type of inconsistency to start the career and then dominate, or not dominate, but be like top five almost every race. And he'll get another top five here, I'm pretty sure.
Now, let's go over to Kyle Larson. And he won at this Speedway last year.
Mm-hmm.
Can he do it again this year? So let's see if he can get it again. If Kyle Larson can do it again, Micah.
Yeah, he was runner-up in the spring race. And that's what you look at. See, the difference with Kyle Larson from last year to this year, it's night and day. I mean, 10 wins, dominating, winning on road courses, winning on tracks that he had never won at before. And this year, only 2 wins. And it's been tough. You know, the car has been tough. You can't find ways to be creative and find speed and hold it as a secret and dominate for a few months. That hasn't happened. And so, same thing. We saw some trouble with him last week. You know, he just has all these little gremlins that show up in his car and something happens. And then, the tires, he had a problem in the first half of the season. It seemed like he was getting worn out or flat tire after 25, 30 laps on a run that ruined his day. So he's had all kinds of bad luck, but I don't want to bet against him. This is a perfect track for him. It fits his style. If his car is set up nice, I think he'll give the Toyotas a run for the money. And that goes for Elliott too. I think Hendrick, to me, is the only team in the way of stopping one of the Toyotas from winning. I could see Elliott or Larson doing well. And I could also see Bowman. He's one of the long shots I was looking at, 30-1. And I liked what I saw out of him last week at Darlington. He fought hard. His car looked like it had some speed. And maybe that can translate over to Kansas this week. He's been runner-up there and third in 2 of his last 4 starts there. So possible long shot there. We haven't seen him win since Las Vegas. When was that? March? So that's a long time. But that track is probably the closest, if you want to put all the tracks together and how they relate to each other. Mile-and-a-half track, progressive banking, kind of the same type of deal. If you had to pick one track that was equal to Kansas, it would be Las Vegas.
Mike, you mentioned before about long shots. Eric Jones was 70-1 last week. Now I'm going to give you some names here. 30-1 or higher. Alex Bowman, Ty Gibbs, Daniel Suarez, Austin Dillon, Eric Jones again, Brad Keselowski evens at around 100-1. Any of those maybe you would take a little sprinkle on to win this week?
Ty Gibbs, you start right there. See what you can get on him, the best odds possible, because he's driving the car that won the Kansas race. He's driving for Kurt Busch. He's in the number 23, but they just changed the paint numbers. It's for manufacturer ownership points in the race there. And since Busch had the win, he's got the track in the number 45. So they put Bubba Wallace in the 45. Gibbs is in the 23, but the same equipment from the 45 is on the 23 and the same crew chief. So you get what I mean. It's just the paint that changed, nothing else. That would be one. And one you didn't mention was Chase Briscoe. He's a guy that 80-1 that I like just because I saw him run well at a couple. Oh, no, it was Charlotte. The Charlotte 4th place finish at Charlotte gave me an inkling that he's going to be good on mile-and-a-half tracks during the playoffs, and good for him. He's been struggling for a while. Only a couple top fives after just starting the season off with a bang with a 3rd at Daytona and winning at Phoenix. And not much since then, but maybe the playoffs can revive and get him going. And this is a good spot for him as well. And 80-1, I mean, that's a pretty good price.
Finally, Micah, who is your winner at Kansas Speedway this week? Is it Denny Hamlin?
Yeah, they'll go Hamlin. I don't know, maybe Larson, Busch. Kevin Harvick is one that I really like. He owns pretty much all the track records, at least among active drivers. 9.1 finish, 3 wins, 12 top 5s, 19 top 10s, and 949 laps led. Kevin Harvick, to me, I like him as a long shot to win the playoffs as well. If he can get to Phoenix, he's got 9 career wins. He's 12-1 right now to win the title at BetMGM. You can 9 career wins at Phoenix, the best all time ever there. And all he has to do is get there. And that's been the tough thing. A couple of years ago, he had the best car everywhere. Didn't make it to Phoenix. So I look for, Kevin Harvick is kind of my, he's not really a long shot, but in the field, yeah, he is kind of 16-1, actually. It's Christopher Bell that's 12-1 that I was checking out earlier today.
Micah Roberts, you could find his work at Vegas Insider. Great job covering the NASCAR circuit. Mike also handicaps NFL, college football, baseball. So don't forget about that. He's not just a one-trick pony. He does everything, but a specialty in NASCAR. And he's joining us throughout the playoffs here. Every week we'll talk to Micah. He's got a breakdown of the race. This week it's Kansas Speedway. Thank you so much, Micah. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thanks for having me, Kevin. Bye-bye.
All right. That is Micah Roberts. I am Kevin Rogers. Thanks a lot for watching. And as always, best of luck with your bets.